Yes, I am live. Good morning, good morning, good morning from Monday Mindsets. Hello, I am so glad to be back. I missed y'all last week. Get myself situated. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Angel Abdul-Matin, and I am coming to you live Monday morning for Mindset Mondays. Come on, change your mindset, change your whole life. Today, I am reading. I'm doing a book study on the book study. I call it book study. That's related to my work life. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from John Maxwell. Yes, my book is used. This is my book. I refer to it frequently. I missed you guys last week. Thank you for the prayers for my daughter. She's been going through a minute though, trying to get through the surgery and the healing process. Literally was just on there live with her at her doctor's. They drained about that much fluid and flood off her knee. So it's been a slow process. But she's getting better. So I just want to let you guys know that. This Monday, we are talking about the law of the ladder. I'm going to jump right into it. Forgive me. The week before last was Gretchen, and I haven't had time to pull the winner from the Monday Mindset before last. So, and I want you guys to drop a number for this week. So yeah, be with me. And then I'll just send all 3 books out at the same time. All right. That is something I've been on my heart to do, to give a book every week that I do this. So you will have this to use later. So come on in. Drop where you're from. If you're new with me, if not, drop a number if you don't have the book and you would like the book. I'm pulling names from the last Monday and this Monday. And let me go right on into it, because this is a really good one. It is the law of the ladder, and it's literally talking about growing, progressing. And I don't think this is it's called the rungs of character ladder. That's really what this Monday Mindset is talking about, your character. All right, your character. I don't think it's something that people deal with enough. Good morning. I'm trying to make sure I can see you guys. I don't see myself on here yet. There I go. In PowerPoint. Texas. Hey, Terry. How are you guys? I got a 6. Hey, Valerie. I'm looking at my phone because I want to say hey, Kima. How y'all doing? Good morning. I'm so glad to see y'all on here. So this one is talking about the rungs of the character ladder. And the rungs, I was like, what is a rung? It's those parts of the ladder as it goes up to keep it together. So that's what that is. So the first one he talks about, when you're talking about this particular part, it's talking about the value of your character. And it says character growth determines the height of your personal growth. That's where they get the ladder. And so your character. And he talks about ambition without guidance doesn't lead to success if you don't have good character. This is something people don't tend to deal with very often. They just think, if I work hard and I do this and I do that, New York in the house, yes, I got you. That is what matters most. But the value of character he talks about, they did a survey of what do people value the most in their leaders. And remember, we always talk about leaders could be you in your home, you as a wife, you as a you over the PTA, you as a mom, you're a leader of the household. So don't just get stuck as leaders as far as in business. But what people value the most, it says, is honesty. And that is something a lot of leaders lack. We know that just from the world we live in and our politicians and things like that. We don't always get honest people because they worry about the bottom line. All right. So I'm going to talk about what the rungs of the character ladder are. You're going to see me look down and read a lot from the book, because this is not Angel's words. This is what John Maxwell, from study and research and other people, he put together an amazing book. But he says climbing the ladder of the character is something that you have to do intentional. You have to. It doesn't just happen. It probably doesn't just happen for most people. He said it doesn't happen for him, but it doesn't happen for most people. It's taken decades to develop the right mindset and learn what the rungs need to be in place in order for me to improve. Understand this. He's saying decades, not overnight. Not I read the book. I'm telling you, I've read this book now 3 times. That's why it looks like this. And I'm still learning every time I read from it. But he says, here are some of the character ladders that have empowered him to grow and climb higher. And I'm going to share them with you. All right. He said, perhaps, not definitely, perhaps they'll help you to grow as well. All right. The first one is, I will focus on being better on the inside than on the outside character. So how many of you know people who you see them, they look gorgeous, or he's handsome, and you know people that on the outside they look great, they look like they got it together, but you meet that person in passing at church or whatever, and they are not very, their insides, you could tell, doesn't match what the outside looks like. They're all outside. They put way more work into what they look like and not who they are on the inside. Drop a thumbs up for me if you know or have had that type of encounter. It could be somebody famous you met, and you meet them in person and it's like, I don't fool them anymore. I've met some stars, like some famous people, like they are not what they portray. So the inside doesn't, you could just tell they put way more emphasis on the outside than what they do on the inside. He says, there's nothing wrong with being concerned with the outside. He said, but what gets us in trouble sometimes is worrying more about how we look on the outside than who we are on the inside. All right. You start thinking almost sometimes too much of yourself. He says, our reputation comes from what others believe about our outside, but our character represents who we are on the inside. Yes, you can develop that reputation of who you are, but when people spend enough time with you, or you do enough talking, who you are on the inside will show up. All right? Who you are, you can't hide that. So remember, these are things we're going to work at. The second one is, I will follow the golden rule that people matter. People, this was my chapter, y'all. This is truly what I work at. This is what I work at. Okay. People matter. And he says for that one, I highlighted it. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you, and then grab the initiative and you do it for them. All right. What do you want to do for other people? Follow the golden rule is a wonderful character builder. It prompts you to focus on other people. Are you focusing more on what you want than what you can do for other people? We are here to, I am a servant leader. And the reason why I know I'm a servant leader, because it matters to me. You all matter to me. My team matters to me. My family matters to me. And it gives me great satisfaction inside, and it changes me and it humbles me. So, but people sometimes who are always focusing on other, yourself, what you want, sometimes you find you're really unhappy, and it doesn't make you a good leader because your focus is always on you and not your team, not your family, not your girlfriends who you hang around with. And you also find sometimes you find yourself envious, that those spirits of, that I'm going to go into spirits and faith, but I am a woman of faith. And so is John Maxwell. So you'll hear some of the things that he talks about is virtues of the word. All right. Is virtues of the word. So he says, all in all, in the end of all of our relationships, we are either pluses or minuses in the lives of others. Put in the comments for me, guys. Do you think you are a plus in the lives of the people around you, or are you a minus? Are you always taking, or are you always giving? And let's be honest, think about it. I think at one time I was a little bit of both, a plus and a minus. That was my focus, because I wasn't intentionally thinking about my growth. So I was a plus sometime and I was a minus sometime. But who I am now is a plus. And I'm able to identify when I'm taking too much and not pouring back in. So what do you think yourself you are? Are you a plus or are you a minus? How do you see yourself when it comes to that growth? All right. And who you are. He said, here's a simple rule. I read that one already. He says, All right, moving on. The next one we're going to talk about is 3. I will teach only what I believe. Passion matters. You understand? Passion matters. I see always given, plus, minus. I'm a plus. Cheryl says give too much is draining. We're going to talk about that. I'm glad you said that. Cheryl says she gives too much. This is not in that. Because when I first said it, I was like, I'm a plus. I'm a plus. But this is not meaning far as giving. We're going to talk about that because I know what you're saying. I used to be a giver too. So I think there can be, you got to find a balance. So I'm glad you put that, Cheryl. We can give, and it is draining. But he is not talking about, remember for this one, he's talking about your character, not what you physically are always giving. It's your character. So who you are, if I'm around people who are, I'm trying to give a good example. If I see a friend and she's upset or she's going through something, how do I respond to that? Am I more concerned about me? Like, I ain't gonna take the time to even check to see if you okay because I got something going on. Like, I don't have, oh, it'll be all right, and kind of leave her there? Or do I give a minute of my time to check on her? Now, I'm not talking about that draining negativity and negative person. That is not what I'm referring to. But we're talking about, even if you're in passing, remember we talked about, you see people you see all the time, they look the part, and then you see them, you're like, oh, can I take a picture with you? And they're like, no. And they dismiss you. That talks about that person's character. Okay. That talks about that person's character. So think of who you are, as far as your character, how much you give and how much you take from other people. So I'm glad you put that, because we're not physically talking about that. And yes, sometimes you can give too much, even of yourself. But I think overall, the people, and it's so funny, it's so many more people who are pluses that are even joining this live. So that says a lot about us, and this speaking to me already. All right. The next one is, did I go with passion matters? I think I did. I think I stopped. So yeah, people matter, passion matters. Most speakers are asked early in their careers to talk about a wide variety of subjects. And this was me at first. I would talk about a lot of different things, but then I realized you got to talk about what you're passionate about. He says, when I first started out his career, there were a few things he taught that he didn't buy into 100%. All right. He said, I'm not talking about things that are clearly right or wrong. He's talking about subjective things that matter. They're a matter of opinion. But as soon as I spoke about them, he said, I regretted it. Like, it's not really me. You ever do something, or for my business personally, sometimes I try to emulate other people, but it wasn't me. So when I even went back and watched me try to be them, I didn't even pull it off. And people know when you're not authentic. They know when you're not passionate about what you're talking about and who you are. They know. So you got to find passion. I am a servant person. Helping people matter. So you see, I'm going to gravitate to books about my mindset, helping you all grow. That's what I'm going to gravitate to. So you got to, whatever you talk about, make sure you're passionate about it. That speaks about your character. Because if you're just saying, oh, I see this person, they got a lot of followers, or people like them but if that's not you, don't try to be that person. Don't try to be that. You'll know if it's you. I got people give me the numbers because they want this book, because they really want it. And I have people who never drop a number because they like listening, but I ain't gonna read that book. That's I'm just interested. So you gotta think about who you are, what you talk about, your conversation. I could talk about John Maxwell and the laws of growth and mindset because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about my mindset and my growth. And I was like, why not share this with other people? So the next thing I want to talk about is to have humility above all virtues. Perspective matters. Okay. Your perspective matters, guys. It says the life of every man is a diary in which he means to write one story and writes another. Listen to that. In his humblest hours is when he compares the volume as it is with what he hoped to make it. That's deep. That's deep. That's G.M. Barry. He quotes a lot of people. All right. Quotes a lot of people. He says, I've concluded, though, while nobody plans to mess up their life, the problem is few of us plan not to. Drop the mic. I don't plan not to mess it up. I'm just going through the motions. Remember earlier in the chapters, he says life doesn't just happen. We don't get a do-over. So if you're not planning to win, if you're not planning to grow, then the likelihood of you failing is great. Or the likelihood, and how many of you, drop a heart if you have adult children? If you have adult children, drop a heart, because I'm speaking to y'all for a minute. You got adult children. Okay. This is about perspective. You have grown up kids. They 18 and older, grown up. Yeah. Adults, they're at your house or they've come back to your house. Drop a heart. Drop a heart for me. Okay. Drop that heart. Making sure I can see everybody. I see y'all comments. Oh, okay. Hey, Tanasia. I ain't see Jessica. Some of y'all on my personal page. So if you have adult children, and we talking about perspective, how many of us are always trying to help them not make the mistakes we made? You're trying to help them not make the mistakes that we made. We have perspective. I'm telling you right now, if you keep jumping from job to job to job, and then you do your resume and you try to apply for the job, people going to see you don't stay nowhere any amount of time. Just stick it out for a minute, find out what you like, find out what you don't like. We're constantly coaching our kids. We have new perspective because we didn't have that perspective for ourselves when we were younger and our parents were trying to tell us that, but now we get it. So now I'm trying to help my children not make the same mistakes, but they ain't got it either. And so I've learned, I have a new perspective. I'm like, I get it. I didn't listen as much either. So I'm going to let you make your mistakes and then I'll coach you through those mistakes. That's what I'm going to do. So you change your perspective. You have to, he said, we have to put in the necessary safeguards in place to ensure a happy ending. What are you doing to ensure your happy ending? If you're saying you unhappy and you don't like your life and you don't like your job, what are you doing to change it? Now, if you can't leave your job, then change your mind. That's what this is about. Change your mindset. What is it you don't like about the people you work with? Are you being flexible? Maybe it's you. To be honest, some of the things I complained about in my last position, I realized some of it was me. I was just burned out and tired of just the same old every day. And so you talk about 29 years of teaching. I love teaching. I'm teaching now. So I know it wasn't teaching. It was the system and the monotony of the same thing year after year after year. Okay. I got to tell y'all, I got a new job. Woo! So I got 2 more mindsets in the Monday, and then I'm going to switch my time to 7. So some night people be able to get me. I decided I want to go back into the workforce. I want to be around new people. I'm excited, you guys. It has nothing to do with education. It's nothing. It's a hybrid position, so I get to be home, but I'm excited. And I was like, and if I don't like it, I could leave. And I'm in a new place. So I'm not going to be tied to something that doesn't serve me and I don't serve it. Mindset, guys. Mindset. So congratulate me. Say, come on, give me some love. Congratulate me. I'm throwing my hat back out there. I'm shifting. I got a business and I'm still working it, but I'm shifting. So I'm praising God and thanking him for blessing me to be brave enough to say, I'm trying something different, to try something different. All right. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. So he says to remember the big picture. He says, I think the first thing to remember about ourselves is the big picture. J.F. Kennedy kept a small plaque in his White House that said, "Oh God, thy sea is so great and my boat is so small." We living in a big world and we're very small in comparison to everything. We really are. He says, if a person like the president, the leader of the free world, can keep in perspective of his true place, so should we. We are not the center of the universe. Keep in perspective who you are. Keep in perspective what you want to do for your life. Look at the bigger picture. It's not everything. I don't want everything. There's some things you need to dive down into. What are the things that you really want the most for your life? And then he says, I will strive to finish well. Faithfulness matters. I'm going to be true to who I am. I'm going to seek those things that I believe is going to help me be successful, bless the people around me. I'm going to be consistent in it. You're not going to see me sitting up here talking about I'm a servant leader with you all and I love the Lord. And then you see me dropping it like it's hot at a club. You just not. Like, I'm going to be faithful of who I am. So you believe in who I am. You know, this is not something that I do just to get followers, just to draw people in. It is who I am. I have passion about this. And so what I'm telling you and what you see is who you're going to get. If you see me outside of this house and I'm at a store, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to love on you. I'm going to talk to you. You're going to be like, Angel, is this, you read the book? Yes. Did you read it? How did it impact your life? This is truly me. Like my family's like, oh my gosh, she on 10 all the time. Positivity. If you know me personally, drop 1 in a comment if this is me. If you know me, if you've talked to me, if you've had a Zoom with me, put a 1 in the comment, because I am faithful to who I am and what I believe. All right. I am faithful about this thing. So he says to make sure you are faithful. All right. You are faithful to this. And you have to recognize while you're cultivating your character. And this is something, recognize that everyone has weaknesses. This is the part that got me. Everybody, including you and me, we have weaknesses. He says, I'm constantly having to remind myself to extend grace. Yes, this person may be negative, but am I going to just cut them off? No. I limit my interactions with them because I know it doesn't agree with who I am, but I give them grace that they're in their own growth journey. Okay. Give them grace. He says, and also, oh God, give them grace. That just touched me. Give them grace because you've needed grace. You've needed grace. We're not perfect. It's taking time to get to this place in your life. So thank you, God, for grace. And I pray we're able to extend grace more and we're not so cynical and short with people who haven't arrived or who aren't on the same playing field as we are right now. Okay? Listen to me. Give people grace. Don't talk about them, even if you think it. Try to work on, I've had to work on that, not criticizing them. Sometimes I see my daughter wear some stuff, I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing because she gonna learn. You know, from the youngest to the oldest, them oldest like, why you let me wear that kind of stuff? I told you back then when you was wearing it, it wasn't appropriate. And you know, they don't believe us. They don't believe. And then they later become parents. I got children who are now parents, my daughter, and she looks back and is like, Mom, I cannot believe you let me wear this. Or now they raising their own children. And they, you know, I gave her grace. I'm going to give you grace. I'm not going to keep just tearing you down. All right. Be teachable. He says, I love being around people who have a beginning mindset. All right. You have to also be teachable, regardless of how much I know. If I'm in a room with John Maxwell and he's talking to me, I'm like this. I'm still teachable. I don't act like, oh yeah, I read your book and I know what no, I shut my mouth and I'm teachable. Be willing to serve others, he says. A few things are better for cultivating character and developing humility than serving others. I don't know how many of you go to church, but I go to an amazing church. We're small, but big in spirit, big in love. And I've just been made an usher. And when I tell you, I love being an usher because I sit and I watch people. I watch what my bishop needs. I watch what the first lady needs. I watch. It's not about me. I'm taking in the word, but I'm thankful that I'm in a position to watch as people tear up. Here's a tissue. Give them love. Give them hug. I'm like, oh my God, I was built for this. Thank you for making me an usher, a person to serve. I don't need the title. It was already me. But I was like, thank you. Thank you, God, that I can serve others in your name. So I'm thankful. He says another thing is be grateful. Oh, God, we do not. Let me tell you, he said, I am very conscious of the fact that I have been blessed and don't deserve what I receive in life. How many of you know that? We are not. Some of us live an entitled life. We feel like I work for it, I deserve it. I mean, get a little attitude, a little bounce with it. But we don't. We serve a God who is loving and kind. And I believe, regardless of what faith you have, everybody's God, because I don't want to put you in my box, but my Jesus, he is gracious, he is loving, he is kind, and he has a plan for my life to prosper, to give me hope for a future. So I know I got to live a life of gratefulness. But he says, consultant Fred Smith, who's a mentor of his, said, we don't stay grateful because that makes us indebted, and we don't want to be indebted. The biblical phrase, sacrifice of thanksgiving, that's what that is. He said, was a puzzle to me until I realized that gratitude is acknowledging that someone did something for me that I could not do for myself. Come on. Gratitude expresses our vulnerability and our dependency on other people. People don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to feel, well, I did it. No. Everything we get, listen to this Chinese proverb. It says, those who drink from the water must remember those who dug the well. Everything we do, every accomplishment we have, every milestone we pass has come in part because of the efforts of others. Come on. Thank you. We're on this platform. I'm in Empowered for More because Christy did the work. Christy Farmer was there for me 11 years ago when I was a teacher with her, and she introduced a business to me that took me on a journey I never thought I would be on. Never. All right. So I am thankful. I am grateful every day. I am grateful that I woke up this day. My pastor always says, be thankful for this day that we've never seen before and we never going to see it again. So if you know you're never going to see it again, why would you waste it? Why are you going to waste it? All right. Don't waste it assuming I got tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. That's your character. Procrastination speaks a lot. And I was a big procrastinator. I assume I'm going to have tomorrow. I assumed I'll be back in this house tomorrow. How you love on people, how you talk to people. This is all about your character. All right. There is so much more I want to. Y'all got to get the book. Put your number in so you can get the book. But faithfulness matters. It says the stronger your character, the greater your personal growth. The stronger your character, the greater your personal growth. Let me tell you, you find joy in this thing called life. You find joy in it. And then there's another part that goes into, he always has an application, applying the law of the ladder to your life. Not only is he teaching you this stuff, he's also talking to you about now, how do you apply it? It is a habit. You got to get in the habit of waking up with gratefulness. You got to get in the habit of thinking of other people and serving them. He says a habit is a daily battleground of character. And it is, because many times we're thinking, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. That's our flesh trying to, but your mind is saying, how many of you lay there and you get like, I know I need to get up. I know I need to get up and pray. If you pray, I know I need to get up and read my word. I know I need to get up and check these emails. But then another person's like, but I just need like 15 more minutes to sleep. I'm gonna hit that snooze button one more time. That's your character. Believe it or not, even for you, it's a struggle. Your habit, what habits do you put in place? I said, I'm going to get up and work out at least 15 minutes every morning. But then I'm like, but it's cold. I'm going to wait till it get warm. And then, your habit. So I'm trying that is my battleground of establishing habits to build my body, build my mind, build my spirit, build my business, build my relationships, and stick to them. And on that note, it's 10:31. I'm going to say thank you guys so much for joining me. Y'all know I love you. You know I love you. And I'll be back next week. Is the law of the rubber band. You got to be stretched. You're going to be stretched. And that's the last one I'm going to do for 10 a.m. And then I'll move to, I'm thinking 7 p.m., but I got to talk to Christy and confirm that time. Y'all be blessed. We ain't going to never see this day again. Go love on somebody. Go hug on somebody. Go send a text message. Think of somebody you haven't talked to in a while and send a message to them. I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you and I love you. It makes a difference. It makes a difference to somebody's life today. Y'all be blessed. Talk to you next week. Drop those numbers and I'll make an announcement of the other 2 winners and send all 3 books this Friday.